In the animal kingdom, males usually act as the dominant sex. Their size and muscle mass often dwarf the females, and their high testosterone breeds aggression. They then use those gifts to fight each other for territory and mating rights. Females generally hang back, care for the babies, and stay out of the male's way. Not all gender dynamics are so cut and dry, however. Certain species see females take the reins. This behavior extends to all aspects of life. They may lead massive groups and defend that group from predators and rivals. That commanding behavior might even extend to the mating process. Such actions can leave the males ostracized or oppressed. The relationship isn't fair, but it's nature's way. The animals just follow the instincts that evolution has taught them. Number 10. Elephants. Elephants are the mightiest land animals on Earth, but that might doesn't come from diversity. Herds typically consist of females, complete with a matriarch. She determines where they go for food and water. The only males in the herd are calves and the occasional juvenile. What about the adult males, though? Well, bull elephants are solitary creatures. Wandering the wild by themselves, they don't bother with the societal structure of a herd. The only time they interact with the females is during mating. After that, each party goes its own way once again. The bulls don't upend the matriarch's authority, and the females rear their young. Cooperation stems from separation. Number 9. Octopus. It may seem difficult to distinguish these undersea critters, but the females have a fatal advantage. As with many animals, octopuses leave childcare to the mothers. That sounds like a bad deal, but the males don't get off easy. These marine mammals are highly cannibalistic. After the mating process is over, a female often eats her partner. His job is done. As such, he might as well serve as energy to sustain the mother. That way, she can last longer and ensure her eggs have a better chance at life. Of course, she eventually dies herself, leaving her hatchlings to fend for themselves. That's not the end of the conflict, though, as the babies can also consume each other. In short, familial bonds mean nothing to an octopus. Number 8. Bald eagle. These majestic birds of prey appear to have a harmonious relationship between the sexes. Not only do they mate for life, but they share equal roles in rearing their chicks. Their dynamic seems symbiotic, but you need only look at their sizes to see the discrepancy. Female bald eagles are noticeably larger than males. That size difference usually settles any disputes over food or territory. In fact, female bald eagles can assert their dominance early in life. By the time females reach adolescence, they're big enough to overpower adult males. Imagine getting pushed around by someone half your age. That's how these guys feel. Number 7. Spotted hyena. These canines' laughing noises aren't the only odd thing about them. Spotted hyena females are often manlier than the males. What's immediately noticeable is how much larger and more muscular they are. These women run the pack by force. They even sport genitals akin to a male, so you'd be forgiven for mistaking the sexes. However, the differences also manifest in their behavior, specifically during mating. In most animal groups, aggressive males are more likely to succeed, but not here. Rather, females prefer partners who are gentle and subservient. This choice prevents their personalities from clashing, but it also creates a weird reversal of the usual mating rituals. Number 6. Meerkats. These flighty animals take polygamy to a new level. A typical meerkat mob features a dominant female at the head. She is larger than the rest, but that's not her most striking aspect. Instead, it's her massive male harem. The matriarch can have dozens of men, all subservient to her and happy to help her breed. As a result, most of the children are hers, thus cementing her control. Anyone who can't get with that program doesn't get a second chance. Meerkat mobs do have a few other females, but they're on a slippery slope. Their job is to help care for the matriarch's offspring. If they try to breed themselves, then the boss might kick them out and kill their kids. You don't expect such cute critters to have a vicious streak, but being a meerkat is like walking on eggshells. Before we move into the top 5, a quick reminder that every Wednesday we like to explore wildlife-related top 10 lists. Today it's all about female dominant creatures. Perhaps you found some of our previous content interesting and are back for more. Or maybe this is your first time. Either way, we're glad you are here and hope you will consider dropping us a comment below, liking this video, or maybe even subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. Without further ado, here comes the top half of today's top 10. Number 5. Spiders. People generally think of spiders as females, and there's a reason for that. The supposedly fairer sex is far more dangerous. Part of that danger stems from their size. In many spider species, the females are much bigger. This factor obviously helps them carry multitudes of eggs, giving their genes a better chance at survival. However, it has a more immediate advantage as well. Namely, it gives them total control over most sexual interactions. Males are naturally careful around their more imposing peers, especially since those interactions could be fatal. Female spiders can easily kill their male counterparts. The latter may make a misstep during courtship, setting off a lethal defense from his intended lady. Even successful mating rituals are no guarantee of survival, as the mother may slaughter the father for food. While this meal provides valuable nutrients for both her and her children, it's yet another unpleasant instance of sexual cannibalism. That practice must be a pattern for animals with 8 legs. Number 4. Ants. Like many insects, ants are difficult to distinguish by gender at first glance. That said, their colonies consist mainly of females. Women make up the brunt of the workforce. It's their job to gather food and keep things running. Males are in the minority, with most of them acting as mindless drones or disposable soldiers. One thing that both sexes have in common, though, is their boss. Ant colonies revolve around a queen. Not only is this monarch the most physically imposing specimen, but she's the one in charge of reproduction. She can lay millions of eggs in a single lifetime, thus sustaining the population far into the future. The other ants know this, so they devote all their time and energy to pampering the queen. Fetching food and keeping her clean is in everyone's best interest. By extension, they care for her offspring so that she can lay even more eggs. This process exists to bolster the numbers, which is the greatest asset to any ant colony. Number 3. Lemurs. You might think that lemurs enjoy gender equality. After all, both sexes are generally the same size, but the differences manifest in their actions. Female lemurs display more aggression toward virtually everyone. They keep males in line through physical abuse. Slapping, biting, and tail whipping are all potent reminders of who's in charge. That may sound like a raw deal, but it's nothing compared to what these women do to each other. Lemurs become matriarchs through violence. Females frequently fight for dominance, and these competitions can quickly turn deadly. As in most cases, though, the reward is reproductive rights. Leading females bear the most babies, so these brutal brawls are the only guarantee of passing their genes. That's worth every wound in a world of natural selection. Number 2. Orcas. In orca society, women seem to take all the initiative. These killer whales live under female rule. A typical pod features a matriarch. Like other examples on this list, she controls much of the breeding and migration. Sometimes she can sire up to 4 generations of whales. Kids sometimes serve as babysitters for their siblings, but sisters are less likely to stick around. To prevent interfering with their mother, females usually leave the pod to reproduce elsewhere. Their brothers are a different story though. Male whales stay close to mum. They can spend most of their lives within a few feet of the matriarch. This may seem overly dependent, but it increases their odds of survival and makes them more successful at mating as they get older. Even after mating with an unrelated female, the boys often return to their mothers. In that, the leader once again preserves her pod and her dynasty. Number 1. Bonobos. You might confuse these primates for chimps, but bonobos rule through love and femininity instead of violence and slaughter. Females of the species form tight-knit groups within a society. They groom each other and pass the time in relative harmony. By contrast, male bonobos keep to themselves. Any alliances are unsteady and short-lived. That behavior informs their social structure. While male bonobos may be bigger, the females call the shots. That supremacy stems from their coalitions. Female groups offer an invaluable defense against male harassers. If the boys start acting up during the mating season, then the girls gang up to drive them away. Size means little if you're outnumbered. This tactic not only further strengthens the females' bond, but it means they have their pick of desirable males. In short, their teamwork lets the ladies mate on their own terms. Well, that's it for today's Top 10. Thanks for watching. We hope you found it interesting and let us know in the comments. Until the next one.